All right, so it's going to be a review of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the newest Hunger Games movie. It's a Hunger Games prequel, and it's directed by Francis Lawrence, just like most of those other movies were. And it is based on a book by Suzanne Collins, the original author of those other books. And I love those other books. I love those other movies. But I saw the trailer for this, and I thought this feels forced, and it feels a little bit fanficky. But I'll say how I feel about this in a second. So Coriolanus Snow, played by Tom Blythe. Obviously, he becomes President Snow. Well, he is President Snow in the Hunger Games movies. So it's telling the story of his earlier life. He was a student, and his house, the Snow house, his family has fallen on hard times. As a result of the war, his father was a general. His father died. His family has been struggling financially. So even though they're in the capital and all that, they're not as prominent as they are. They're potentially going to lose their house even. He's a good student and everything like that. He feels like he's going to win the Plinth Prize, which will give him money and will be good for his career going forward, his future. But his professor or teacher, Dean Casca Highbottom, played by Peter Dinklage, changes things up. So instead of it being based on academics, they have to mentor tributes that are going to be in the Hunger Games that's coming up. He gets assigned the tribute Lucy Graybeard, played by Rachel Zegler, who's in the games as a result of some things that happened, some drama that happened between her and the mayor's daughter in District 12. Coriolanus and Lucy, they start to kind of grow a bond, and so things get complicated because he's like, well, I got to do this for my house and look out for them, and if I'm caught cheating for her, then things will be even worse for me. But he does feel like he wants to protect her in the games and wants her to survive. So the obvious positive right off the bat is this is a really good looking movie. I mean, the cinematography is great, just like most of the older ones. The first Hunger Games movie, not so much, but with Catching Fire and On, the cinematography, the production was great. And it's the same way here. Great direction, production design, costume design. I mean, from a technical aspect, it's great, just like those most of those other ones. And I think the performances are all great, except for one. We'll talk about that one. But especially with Tom Blythe, I think he does a great job with Snow. I think a lot of the emotion that you get from this and from that character, he does a great job conveying that, the complexity of things early on. I think you get a lot of that from him. I do like them setting the seeds. I believe this is the 10th Hunger Games, and the first movie and the second movie, that was the 74th and 75th. So, it's early on in the games. And you get to see that, right? Like the games themselves, which are done great, I think, even though the tributes don't get as much time and development for you to truly care. But you can tell it's in earlier games. I mean, they're just in a building, right? Like they are just, instead of being in like a forest or on a beach or something, there's just a gate there. Like they run right up to the gate. There's just two peacekeepers right there. So it's very early on. And I like how, Coriolanus is giving these ideas to Viola Davis's character, Gaul, giving these ideas of, mentors being able to get more from viewers that they can donate and things like that. Really make it a show, a spectacle. I really enjoyed the earlier parts. I really did. I even thought that Snow and Lucy had some pretty good chemistry, even though I think their relationship was a bit rushed. I think a lot of that kind of is a bit rushed. Maybe could have set up things a little bit earlier before the games, because it seems like it wasn't much time. Like the games were just about to start at the beginning of this movie, and they're just now becoming mentors and doing what they have to do. But I will say, it lost me. It definitely lost me. I can tell you the exact moment it lost me completely, but there were still some things early on where I was like, okay, this doesn't work. Like Rachel Zegler. So Rachel Zegler plays Lucy Graybeard, like I said, and she's a singer and things like that. And there's some good moments with her singing to kind of capture the audience and things like that, really get them invested in her for the first time in the games, to getting invested in the tributes. But she has this accent, and it felt really unnecessary. I don't think anybody else had that accent, I don't think. And it was a lot. It was a bit much, to the point where I thought it was fake at first. And there are lines that she gives where the accent isn't like that, where you can almost barely recognize it. So it was to the point where I was like, why do you even have this in the movie? Why does she have this accent? What could have been good is if she was playing up the accent the whole time for the cameras, and that was just a way to get the audience more endeared to her. But that accent felt unnecessary in the current form of what this is. It felt like that wasn't necessary, and it hurts her performance because I was distracted by it, and the character herself just kind of weak, and they want her to almost be like a Katniss Everdeen character where she's defiant of the Capitol and the games and all that, regardless of how dangerous that is. But she'll never be Katniss. Katniss just had so much better writing associated with her. Katniss had this innate defiance within her to where even though she's doing certain things to survive, she still has that moment with the berries and things like that. She's still willing to die at points just to be like, fuck you to the Capitol. And this character just doesn't have that. They have her sing when she first gets selected, just sing on the mic, and they're not stopping her. Oh, just keep rolling, keep rolling. It's like, I don't feel like they would go that far. The writing just got insanely weak because it, things would happen and they would happen because we need them to happen to set up other things going forward, but they wouldn't happen in a way that made sense. Like they didn't feel natural. And the biggest, there's something that happens with Sejanus. Sejanus Splint, he's Snow's friend. I think he was originally in District 2, but his father got so rich that now they're in the Capitol. I believe the Plinth Prize is through him. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. But Sejanus does something during the games, and I was like, this feels completely unreal. This doesn't seem like this could actually happen right now. I was like, this motherfucker should be fucking dead. But the big one, I'm gonna spoil this. So they get so they get to the end of the games, and there was a bombing that happened, and so Gaul, the game maker, the person that's all about making this, getting viewership and making this games work, she ends up deciding, you know what, we're just gonna kill them all. And so she puts the snakes in the games, and the snakes start just killing them. And so Lucy is the last one, and Snow actually cheated so that the snakes wouldn't attack her. And so that's why he ends up getting sent to District 12 and things like that. And I was thinking to myself, that doesn't make sense.
Why do we have a winner? I mean, if we just wanted to intimidate the districts, why not round up 24 of them at random and execute them all at once? Hope.
Hope?
Hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear.
It doesn't make sense with the earlier movies, and it doesn't make sense with this movie. This character would not do this, and very obviously she wouldn't do it because it wouldn't make it would be negative for the games, right? So you're getting these people invested in these tributes and invested in these games and invested in Lucy even, right? She got the most donations, I'm pretty sure, because she sang that song, and the Capitol people were like moved by and all that, and you're just going to kill her. You're just going to force her to die by the snakes, even though she's technically the victor of these games. You don't think there's going to be backlash to that? That was fucking stupid, and it's only there to set up Snow cheating so that he could get sent to District 12. And I mean, more things. I mean, he was supposed to be sent to District 8, but he he bribed like one person and was sent to District 12 instead. He does something. I'm not even going to spoil this part, but he betrays Sejanus in a way that felt completely out of character. And I was thinking, and he did it seemingly with ease too, like with not even really feeling all that conflicted by it. He just does it. And I was like, man, come on. And then he starts crying when Sejanus gets punished. I was like, well, no shit. Of course he's going to get punished, and you had to have known. All right. And then he's done all this for Lucy, to keep her alive and all this. And then, so at the moment where he obviously has to kind of turn and pseudo betray her for his own, selfish reasons, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it makes any sense to me based on the story that you're telling me. He's doing these things because he needs to become President Snow, that we know. He needs to poison somebody. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. And it just felt so forced. That's it, though. I'll give it a rental because I did like a lot of the stuff early on, but I really did not like the second half of this movie, and especially the third act. It's just, I thought that was trash, but Either way, giving credit where credit is due. There's a lot of good stuff still here, especially early on. So I'll still give it a rental. But as a Hunger Games fan, it's like, really, Suzanne Collins? Like, you just really needed the money? Like, I mean, really? That you're gonna milk your franchise like this for some more cash? I guess. I mean, it felt desperate. It felt like it felt greedy and desperate to me. So anyway, that's Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and yeah, that's it.